Assalamu alaikum. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all in Ebru art demonstration presented by International Museum of Muslim Cultures. My name is Zakia Lalani and I am one of the founding board member of Islamic Arts Society, Houston. The Ebru art first found in Bukhara, Turkestan in 12th century and emerged and evolved during the long 15th century in Safavid Persia and Ottoman Turkey, as well as Mughal and the Deccan Sultanates in India. Marbling is the art of creating colorful patterns by sprinkling and brushing color pigments on a pan of viscous water and then transforming this pattern to paper. Traditionally, representational Ebru subjects are flowers. Turkish Ebru master Necmuddin Okaya, 1883 to 1976, perfected Çiçekli Ebru, the floral marbling style, which came to be called Necmuddin marbling. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to introduce you all to a very talented Ebru artist, Nazli. Hello Nazli, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Nazli is Turkish-born Ebru artist that has called Texas her home for the last 16 years. She graduated from Marmara University in Istanbul with a degree in textiles. Always interested in designs and the arts, she learned the mesmerizing art of Ebru, Turkish style of paper marbling, from a world-renowned Ebru artist, Hikmet Parçakuli. She has been practicing the art of Ebru for 18 years. Her Ebru pieces depict traditional patterns from the time of the old masters as well as modern designs. Nazli is the Fine Arts Director at the Raindrop Foundation and teaches Ebru classes to students of all ages and various backgrounds. She is an active member of Islamic Arts Society of Houston. So Nazli, tell me about this. The Ebru word comes from. What does Ebru means?
Okay, the Ebru art, traditionally said Ebru. I just want to mention first, Ebru art started from 12th century. The very first examples are found, but nothing written found in early times. So the written books are coming much later. So no one really knows, but two ideas is there. It is either coming from ab and ru, which means water and face in Persian, in Farsi.
Okay.
So ab and ru, so face of the water or surface of the water, which is
That makes
logical.
sense. That
and
absolutely makes sense.
Other masters believe that it's coming from ebri, which means cloudy or cloud looking. So either of them is really logical, nothing written, so no one really knows how it is first, started called Ebru, but either water and face or cloud looking.
That's beautiful. And then one thing I noticed, you put so many colors at a
Yeah.
time, and it just doesn't mix it up. It just
That's
stays
the
like that.
beauty of the art.
That's the
actually.
beautiful of this art.
Yeah,
Amazing.
you can mix the colors on the jar. You can achieve the third color, like a shade of the color. But when you put them on the surface of the water, like the size, they have their own characteristic. They're not going to change. So they have their own pool. However you mix them, they're not going to give the third color. So they always have their own color. They just make different designs. So this design is called Gelgit, ebb and flow action. So we made that. Now we're gonna use
And use the styler for this, right?
style for that. The very first examples are actually stone marbling, like the first drops we put. That's called a stone marbling. They have small, big, drops, or light or dark. So stone marbling. The very first examples are always like that. So years later comes the ones with the rakes, and then the stylus. And years after that, like in 17th century, we are coming through the floral marbling. The first one is called hatib, just the heads of the flower. And then in the late, 19th century, Necmettin Okyay, we mentioned about him. He started the flowers with leaves, so individual drops are,
And I guess tulip was his favorite.
Oh yeah. Tulip is, one of the most famous, most loved, most common flower in Islamic arts, because it resembles Allah, it's believed. So in fabric, in ceramics, in textiles, in Ebru, tulips are really common to see, because it's believed that it's resembled Allah, because it's an individual flower, always one. So the oneness of Allah, and also the name Lale and Allah written same in Arabic. So that's the reason. So now we have a combed marbling, like a fine comb, but this is not finished. We'll make one more action over this.
What is this called?
Double rake. Double rake.
Okay.
We call it, tarak in Turkish, but double rake is for making peacock tail. So one of the famous designs that we see in book bindings generally. So we use this double rake and make a special movement like this.
Wow, look at that.
See like a totally different
Mashallah,
design.
that looks really beautiful.
Yeah, it's coming out. So
Amazing.
here is our peacock tail design.
Beautiful.
Now it's time to see it on the paper. The best part, like in the first one, we will see.
That must be very challenging and difficult, isn't it?
When I'm making demonstration, people, oh, this is very nice, but how we are going to capture this?
Right.
So that's the best part. Is the paper under it? No, it's just on top of it.
Is that a special kind of paper?
Good question. It's like this one is special for Ebru, but anything without chemicals or not coated with any other things can be used. The quality of the dyes, and we'll talk about the materials more maybe, and the enzyme we use in them help them actually stick on the paper. So would you mind holding this so we can show it?
Sure.
See, the colors are
Hold it like this?
showing. Yes, I'll put it over so we will show it better on the tray.
Wow.
Like this. So make it close up.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So as you see, the colors are showing rich and
Yes,
bright.
and it's showing the actual color of the peacock. It's the color of
I try
peacock,
to resemble,
right?
use a similar
beautiful.
shades
Beautiful.
with that one.
So this is the second one you're making,
Yes.
right? And what are we making this time?
Chevron.
Chevron.
Yeah, we are going to
Okay.
use the rakes and combs again.
Okay.
And we will achieve like a fine.
Can you also tell us some more about what kind of a material you use in there?
Yes, the colors actually are interesting. Normally, in traditional way, we are using colors from rocks and minerals, earth-based pigments, sometimes metal oxides to achieve like good. Again, make a velvet design to achieve chevron. Then we will use the comb. I'll keep going one more tour, and you'll see it's gonna change
In
its
opposite
shape.
directions.
Yeah, the opposite direction. Looks
Let's
like,
make it more interesting.
yeah, like feathers.
Yeah, more thinner, finer.
Mhm. And finally, we will use a comb to go through the surface.
Is there any name for this specific movement?
Like this is called combing the surface, fine comb, double rake, combs or rakes, but like that one is called gelgit,
Okay.
or eben floor action, and it gives its name as gelgit, from Turkish. Actually, I need to say that the very first examples are like the dot ones, like the stone marbling, we call it. It can be bigger, smaller drops, or lighter or darker shades, and it's always stone marbling. Then comes like the comb and rake ones. Then we use the stylus, and later on the flowery ones are
I see.
shown.
This is the toughest part.
Carefully, yes.
Yes.
It looks easy, but
Yes.
this is the hardest part, because if you move when you are lowering the paper, then it can change your design. Let's see.
Beautiful. Look at the colors.
Yeah, they are really bright
Such a bright colors.
and beautiful. In here we are using darker shades, but when we are going through the flowery ones, we are gonna use lighter colors, like to
Is
show
there any
the-
reason for the using lighter colors in the flowers?
Yes, please. Because if the background is dark, then the flowers not pop up
They
on
will not
top of it.
enhance.
So if there is a
Okay.
just light background on the paper, on the background, then the flower shows itself better. Because it's a demonstration, I'm relatively using darker ones, like to show new designs, but still lighter than before.
So are you going to show us the tulip?
Yes,
That's
yes,
the
tulip.
most famous and the most
Most-
iconic
That's
designs.
And you know that there's a special historical time called tulip time.
Tulip
Because
time.
in
Okay.
Istanbul, people are really crazy, like paying fortunes for tulips. So that period of time is called tulip time.
And this, you making it is can be transferred on the fabric also.
Very good question.
Yeah.
So keeping traditional colors, we can only use natural materials to transfer these colors, like paper, cotton, can be dyed, but never synthetic materials. So having new type of dyes like acrylics, they are not behaving the same. They are not always like giving the same shades. But the good part is acrylic is allowing us like to dye some other materials like synthetic fabrics, ceramics, or
Yeah, because I saw beautiful scarves and the
glass.
shawls, and
Yeah.
they even had on the ceramics too, right? They
Yeah.
had those
Biscuit
coasters.
ceramic can hold these dyes,
Okay.
and natural fabrics, silk and cotton can hold
Can
these.
hold it,
Yeah.
okay.
These dyes, but not all kind of fabrics. But for fabric, you need to have some fixation methods before and after.
Okay.
So it's not always just go straight dyeing. Preparations are needed. But yeah, you're able to.
So basically, this marbling, if you look at it, is used for the decoration purpose. They're just using art in the home, or is there any other thing in there too?
Nowadays, mostly we saw it like hang as a frame, individual flowers marbled, mostly like that. But traditionally, no. Because mostly people lightly marbled paper and use it for manuscript. Handwrite on it, there's no printers, right? So people handwrite and they go buy or search for marbled paper. Not only like everyday use, but in Ottoman time, the sultans choose special marblers for themselves. and the archive papers and the Fairmont's marble, write on marbled papers, especially because it's against forgery. It's change proof. If you write on a marbled paper, you can change it. You can't erase, and so it's
authentic paper.
Authentic beauty is already there, art is there, and also it's against forgery.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
This is not just for the decoration purposes. It's much more than that. I'm loving this color. Oh my God! This is so pretty, beautiful.
Showing on top of each other. We'll start in a similar way. And now we will go, we'll use our stylus, not only shaping the colors, but now we are carrying individual drops with our stylus. So we have darker or thicker dyes here, and start drawing our flowers. These two green dots will be our leaves and the stem for the tulip. So we are pulling the stem out first, and then we are shaping the green as leaves. This is water, you can always play with it. And we pull the leaves out. Okay, it's time for the stem part. I shorten it a little bit. Okay. I'll start with the red, and I'll make some shades. This is called wavy colors. Some yellow. The more drops you add, the bigger flower gets. Now we will divide our flower into two.
So pretty.
Is ready.
You did it such a easy, swiftly, softly.
Shade of the same color, so it's like even less busy
Just
on the
giving
background.
a background.
Yeah,
Yes.
but for the demonstration, we just want to show more colors and designs.
I would say.
International Museum of
Muslim cultures.
Muslim cultures. We're trying
Yes.
to, use that colors
We
for
are
our
giving a
flowers.
surprise to our viewers how we're going to put
Yeah.
those colors in there. Wonderful.
There is a design called nest design. Normally they are smaller, but I'm making a huge one, the big one for whole
What
tray.
is it called?
Nest.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, nest design. So just starting.
Like a nest. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna leave it like that. This is not enough color normally. I leave it a little empty, and I want to show you something. So we will have our own frame in here. I'll use a fine stylus and just get our enzyme, just a little amount, and add it in the tray. See what happens. Change the stylus a little faster. So this is making an empty spot in our tray.
This is for the.
This
frame,
is for
the space for the pictures to get in.
Normally we can make on top of it, but the background is pretty crowded for like the flower, because I'm planned to make a framed one like this. A little bigger, I believe. I'm adding more. Just waiting it to. This is really strong, as you see. It's just pushing the colors away. To make an even side. This is good ideas. Now we will shape our frame. Finish that. One in. This is our frame. Now we will repeat carrying some colors with our stylus and achieve like the desired size to shape the flower. So we will start with a turquoise blue that I like. The size of the style is important actually. If you have a bigger one, you carry a bigger drop. If you have a smaller one, you carry a smaller drop. It really changes amount, as you see. A little more. Again. See how like even circles they are just like pushing each other.
Perfect circle. You don't even need any other instruments to make it circle. That beautiful.
My colors. And last is white. Now it's time for us like to shape this. Okay, we have the fine one. That's the people are asking, can we use like plain water? You can, but you can control the shapes of the colors, and it's harder for the colors to float on top. And in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, there is an art called sumunagashi. It's like floating ink on top of water, similar to this one, but the water is like water, not thickened. So it's like only shapes. You can't really draw flowers on top of that. But in here, as you see, we are able
you can move
to
as the way you want to
draw intricate, like detailed designs. And even without touching the color, I shape them like this. And I would like to take a little bit white in the middle again, and that's and this flower is dedicated to International Museum of
Muslim
Muslim
cultures.
Cultures.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
see this on the
This
paper
is
too.
gorgeous,
Our
yes.
colors. People are asking me, like, you're ruining the art. Why are you using the side, to scrape the paper? Because of the quality of the dyes, it's not smearing or anything. Even the white part, we made the frame part is showing pure. It's not
This is the
smearing.
beautiful gift for the International Museum of Muslim Culture. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Nazli.
You're very
This
welcome
is
for
real treat.
hosting us.
This is a real treat for the viewers, for myself. I think the Ebru art is not just showing out the beauty of the colors and all this artwork, but I think looking at you, the way you were working so softly, so
I
patiently,
really
it
have that
teaches, yes.
love of like sharing the Ebru art and like the tradition, the colors and everything. But we need to thank the masters. I don't know how they put those materials together, but they did, and they passed the tradition to us. So we try to keep it in the same way.
And
perform
again,
more.
if you're saying that the masters have teaching you, that the masters are the ones so more humble. They didn't even write their names on their artwork, right? So
That's
it's
right.
the God's gift, right?
Definitely.
He's
To
the
him in
ultimate
kind.
creator, and we are the one who carry this beauty and try to show the creation of Allah.
Thanks
through
Allah
our
that
art.
He gives us like the love
Beautiful.
of art and colors.
Jazakallah. This is absolutely beautiful. It's been a pleasure being with you all. I hope you all enjoyed the Ebru demonstration by Nazli. Today we learned about traditional Turkish Ebru art by using various materials, styles, and patterns. We would like to thank International Museum of Muslim Cultures for giving the opportunity to Islamic Art Society of Houston to collaborate in making this video and build bridges through Islamic art. Please visit their website at muslimmuseum.org for more details and upcoming events. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.